I'm happy, you're happy? Hello, my wonderful friends. This is the first Nintendo news roundup of the new year. Yet, interestingly enough, in this, the beginning of a fresh start, it is also something of an ending. I am moving to a new house, and this is the last video that I am recording in this studio. This was my first studio. It all started here. Technically, it started out in the dining room with the headphones video, but really, this has been my studio. I spent a little time at a friend's house in their studio for like 6 months, but this has been the main one for years now. And this is it. This is the final thing I'm doing. I'm looking around. This is the last time I will do this and look around at how horribly messy it is as I record something for you. So I'm feeling a little sentimental about it, but you know, it's okay. We got a lot of news stories to talk about, so let's get started. One final time. Oh. Speedrunning Breath of the Wild is naturally very popular. It's a very open-ended game, lots of fun physics to play with, and people are constantly finding new glitches to use. And it seems that recently a YouTuber by the name of Legend of Link found a very cool one. It uses memory storage, and it basically allows you to use the Bow of Light outside of the, final boss battle. It's a very, very powerful weapon, but you only get it in that battle. Also allows you to sort of kind of build your own personal new game plus of sorts, where you get to have, the Master Sword and the glider right at the start of the game. Personally, I don't know enough about Breath of the Wild speedrunning to know how this might affect things. For me, it feels like this can't really be a thing in major speedruns because it requires a save file that is already completed, and then you use that in order to create this new one, so I feel like that's not really a thing that they're gonna do. In most cases, they might create a unique category for this, I suppose, but I'm not really sure, so I don't know how it'll actually impact the competitive speedrunning community, but it's still pretty cool. I know I would very much like to just play with the Bow of Light pretty much forever. Nintendo is teaming up with a company called Starlight to create Nintendo's Starlight gaming stations, which are basically special Switch kind of stations for children's hospitals. It's a special little display with a TV and a Switch, and it's like extra easy to like share and sanitize and all that stuff, and it comes preloaded with pretty much all of the best games, all the best first-party games, Zelda, Mario Party, Pokemon, all that great stuff. So that's very cool. Nintendo making an effort to just put more Switches and games and stuff into hospitals for kids. What else is there to say? That's just great. I mean, you don't need me to tell you, like, we all know, it's basically common knowledge, at least among gamers, that video games are extremely, extremely beneficial in a humongous number of ways. So I think it's really awesome. They're making an effort to bring that to kids who really, really need the games for a number of reasons. You may recall sometime back the whole Twitch plays Pokemon thing. Basically everyone on Twitch getting together and playing one single Pokemon game at the same time using their inputs. Well, now it seems someone's kind of cracked the code and created a version of Pokemon Sword and Shield that Twitch peoples can play. So that's pretty fun. And it seems it's a little more organized than the original because people are able to play remotely for 60 seconds at a time. So this is something you can do now. You can go in there and wait for your 60 seconds to just kind of make stuff happen. I think that's pretty fun. According to Nintendo Life, it seems the Twitch page notes that the top 10 players at the end of the game will win a prize. You play Pokemon, win a prize? Perfect, go do it. A young man by the name of Caleb King has apparently been very purposefully and somewhat aggressively collecting rare Pokemon cards over the years. It seems that his parents told him that he was doing something dumb, and apparently these cards have really appreciated in value. He was very, very wise to do this, and he has just sold $80,000 worth of cards to pay for college. And apparently that wasn't even his whole collection. He's still got plenty of rare cards left. He's paying for his college with Pokemon cards. That's just, I don't know. That's amazing right there. And apparently he's looking to go to medical school to be an orthopedic surgeon. So yeah, he's definitely gonna need the money. Good for him. That's just cool. That's fun. So you may recall that Nintendo has been in a pretty lengthy legal battle with a karting service in Tokyo where people could dress up as Mario characters and ride around on go-karts around the city. Nintendo felt that this was a serious infringement of copyright, especially doing all this for profit, and so they shut them down. It seems that it's been quite a lengthy battle, and they recently appealed to the Supreme Court. The karting service appealed to the Supreme Court to try to get the case thrown out, and they were denied, which it seems that that's the final nail in the coffin for this service. And before anybody jumps and says, oh, Nintendo shutting down another fan project, that is absolutely not what this was. This was a purely for-profit thing using Nintendo's characters. And even worse, people in the area apparently hated them. They just drove their carts all over the place, really unsafely, just running into things and people, and there was no, like, good moderation to keep it safe. It was just a bunch of people, a bunch of tourists riding around in go-karts. So it is a very good thing that Nintendo has won this battle. I will give this to them. Congratulations on shutting this down. This sounded like a really, really big thorn in your side. And it seems that now that they've lost the appeal, they're going to have to pay Nintendo 50 million yen. So that's a pretty pricey lesson to learn, I guess. So 1 or 2 weeks ago, I shared Nintendo Life sharing a GameIndustry.biz article, which kind of broke down just a lot of different, like, sales figures for different games and consoles and stuff over the years, and someone has made another really good an observation, and it's that Mario Kart 8 is not just selling well, it actually sold more in 2020 than it did in 2019, and it sold more in 2019 than 2018, and so forth. It has sold more every year. What game does that? I've heard of legs, but that's not legs. That's like legs that are growing into bigger legs or something. I don't really know. It's got a propeller that won't, it's a rocket that won't stop gaining thrust. It's incredible. And I know, like, you know, it's an evergreen game. It's Mario Kart. It's always going to have a high attach rate, but I don't know. I just think it's interesting that more each year. I could see selling fine, selling really well over time. It's probably going to break it. I think Switch sales overall are kind of going to flag a bit. It was a big year, Animal Crossing, lockdowns and all that stuff. I get the feeling Nintendo will kind of, not taper off, but it'll be a little bit tempered. But that's a big discussion about a whole other thing. This is just about Mario Kart, so I thought that was kind of fun. Nintendo has revealed a list of the best-selling indie games on the Switch in 2020. Disappointingly, it's not really in any sort of order, so I don't really know like what the actual numbers are or which was number one. But still, it's a very cool list, and I'm actually really surprised by some of these. There are plenty of things on here that I thought would be, fine, but I didn't know they would be like at the top. You know, I mean, like a Carrion, like it looks really good, but I just didn't think it'd be all the way at the top, and Kentucky Route Zero, and some stuff I've never even heard of. And then Hades, no surprise there. Wouldn't be surprised if it was actually at the top. So anyway, that's a list of very, very good games there, so congratulations to all these titles who made it. And another sales story, a website by the name of Visual Capitalist made this really cool graph, just kind of visualizing Nintendo's console sales, and you can really get just a sense for like how successful some of these things were, and how the Switch, its momentum is growing quite heavily, and also how like this is really the only time Nintendo has ever supported only one console. That's weird. I mean, like look, they've always had two or three, depending on like what was going on. No, Switch, it's the only one going right now, so I guess it kind of makes sense that it would be, pretty big. Gets very, very narrow there with Wii U and 3DS, but Switch is going pretty strong. So yeah, check out this cool little graph if you haven't. So here, I suppose because it's the beginning of the year and everyone's wondering what's going to happen in the year, we have a very long list of stories of people who work on various games talking about their wants for those games and series throughout the year. 3 of the folks from HAL Laboratory recently had an interview with 4Gamer, and they were talking about their 2021 plans. Some of it's, most of it's pretty vague, but it's still pretty exciting. In particular, Yumi Toto said, "We'll keep working hard on our goal in 2021. That is, for as many people as possible to enjoy Kirby. We have plans not only for games, but also for merchandise, books, and a variety of events, like with the Kirby Cafe." So that's fun. I mean, it's only natural. We're kind of due for another Kirby game. Pretty much every year gets Kirby games and Kirby stuff. So yeah, I expect there to be some. Then Hideki Kamiya of Platinum Games has blessed us with another illuminating development update for Bayonetta 3. He says it's going very well. As always. He's very patient, isn't he? And actually, technically this was an exact copy of an earlier comment. He just kind of copies and pastes it. But that's nice of him. Nice of him to let us know that it's still going well. It's still a thing that is happening, apparently. Will we hear about it this year? Kind of thought we would have last year, maybe a little bit the year before that. This year, more likely than ever, I suppose, but we'll see. Capcom has come out and promised that very soon we'll be getting new info on Monster Hunter Rise. I wouldn't even be surprised if something went out before I could even get this video out. So new info coming on that. If you're looking forward to that, I wouldn't even actually be surprised if it got its own direct. I could easily see that. We've gotten directs for like third-party stuff, I believe, if it's exclusive. I don't know, but I could see that happening. At the very least, like a treehouse or something. Devolver Digital apparently has 5 unannounced games, at least, for 2021, and obviously I feel like most, if not all, of their games end up coming to Switch, so that's cool. They always publish really just high-quality stuff. They announced this in a little tweet. Which of the 5 unannounced Devolver Digital games releasing next year is your most anticipated? It's cute, I like it. Toshihiro Nagoshi apparently works at Sega and is mostly responsible for working on the Yakuza games, but apparently he worked on F-Zero GX on the GameCube. He says that, naturally he still really likes F-Zero GX, and if the opportunity were to present itself, he wouldn't mind making a new one. He says if he were to do it, he would want to make it very challenging to kind of, as opposed to Mario Kart, where it's more casual and easy and that kind of stuff. This is not a tidbit coming from any actual official person. He used to be, but he doesn't even work at Nintendo anymore, but it's still, I don't know, worth talking about for all of the desperate F-Zero fans out there. I'm so sorry, you guys. That's awful. It is awful what Nintendo's doing to you. And the final story of this specific nature, here's something that I frequently forget. Did you know Nintendo owns Fatal Frame? Like those horror games? I'm pretty sure Nintendo owns the IP now, and that's just, on the pile of IPs that they just don't want to use, even though it would be cool and diversify their library and please the fans and create new fans. They don't really want to do it. 2021 is the 20th anniversary of Fatal Frame, which is amazing. That means it's almost as old as some other, classic Nintendo series. Series co-creator and producer Keisuke Kikuchi recently talked about being interested in doing something to celebrate the 20th anniversary, although, unfortunately, kind of as with the F-Zero thing, this isn't really an official statement or anything. It's just kind of like, yeah, that would be cool. I really would like to do that, but unfortunately, it comes down to Nintendo. Nintendo is the publisher, and so it's kind of just up to them. It's hard for me to imagine why they wouldn't at least put out a remastered collection or something. Would be pretty neat. I've always wanted to play these games. They look really cool. And, there was the one on the 3DS with the AR. I guess I just wasn't really interested in that. That'd be cool. Fatal Frame Anniversary Collection. I'd buy it. I'd play these games if that's worth anything. Nintendo. I know it's not. I know it's not actually worth anything to know that Arlo would play it. Well. Oh no, I do have another story on this topic. I almost missed it. The president of Level 5, Akihiro Hino, also spoke recently to 4Gamer, and it seems that they are preparing an unreleased new work. So they just have a new game in development, but they haven't announced what it is yet, and that's pretty exciting. Except when you consider the somewhat recent news that they were shutting down all of their North American divisions, and we're not expected to see localizations of any of their games anymore, unless Nintendo or someone else steps in and offers to fund it. There are currently no plans for their games to come to the West anymore, and it seems that this game might be cool, but if it is, it might not come to the West, might not be localized, which is weird. I don't get it. I actually don't get it. If you're going to spend all the time making a game, it's hard for me to believe that so much money would go into just changing the words on it to open it up to a market that is so much bigger and has the potential to make so much money. How is that not worth it? I don't know. I never understand any of this stuff for localization or anything. But I don't know. Maybe Nintendo will swoop in and buy up Layton. It was kind of a Nintendo property before, and Nintendo didn't really want to make that a thing. And I don't know. That's a whole discussion for another day. I'd say hashtag Layton for Smash, but he's a thinker, not a fighter. More details of Super Nintendo World have been pouring in. People have been posting pictures. They've been finding little bits of Pikmin all over the place, which is so delightful. I love it. Oh my gosh, I want to go to Super Nintendo World and find the Pikmin more than anything in my whole entire life. And then here's a picture of Captain Toad. That's pretty cool. And a walk around Princess Peach. There you go. There it is. They didn't decide to do the whole Disney princess thing where everyone is a big freakish monster cartoon walk around, but then the princesses get to be like real people. Apparently they elected not to do that with Peach, which I kind of prefer it this way. It's weirder, but it's more accurate. Other stuff too. There's a new like little trailer for the game. That's funny. It's basically a game for the park, and it shows off little tiny tidbits of the Yoshi ride. You ride on a Yoshi around, and that's really cute and clever and adorable, and I want to go so bad. So it seems that this is so random. On Nintendo's Japanese website, they always have like a schedule for the games that are going to get posted, and at one point they posted that Banjo-Kazooie and Blast Corps were coming to the Wii U. Finally, am I right? This was apparently done in error, and it was not linked to anything real, and then they took it down, which is just like, how would a game that's not there get put there so randomly, and then like come up so far later after the fact, so many years later, and just randomly one day? How did that happen? How does that happen? I have no idea, but it is a little bit funny. And finally, if you follow Sakurai on Twitter, he's always posting really just awesome and funny and amazing looking Smash Ultimate screenshots, which they really just like, I need to dig through these someday. They really highlight just how good the game looks, you know? Even when you zoom in on the characters, they just look so good. But apparently, in the new year, he's going to be slowing down at least a little bit, very slightly slowing down to fewer per week, which some may find disappointing, I suppose, but it's great that we're still getting Smash pictures. And that is it. That's it. That's the end. That's the end of me recording things for the channel Arlo stuff in this room. This room where it all started, where it's been for 6 years now. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. I'm kind of a sentimental guy. I try not to be, but I end up being anyway. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go and listen to and quietly sing various Muppet and Fraggle Rock themed songs about saying goodbye, of which there are actually several. Ain't it just the way it goes? Pull the petals from the rose. We never say hello to stay. We always say goodbye. Always say goodbye. Oh no! I just realized I'm getting a new recorder. The thing that I plug the mic into that records the things on the SD card. I'm getting a new one of those too. This is the last video I'll ever record on my recorder. It's the only recorder I've had my whole career. Oh no. Goodbye, goodbye. And every eye is dry. Leaving, there's no grieving, just a rainbow in the sky. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. This studio's way better. This one kind of stinks.